Morning guys, welcome back to the vlog. It is Wednesday the 19th of January 2022. It's a cold, fresh morning here. It's just after 6:30 a.m. Gloves are on. Be chill, cold morning here in Amsterdam. Last week's video we looked at getting started. Today I'm going to talk you through my process to be more adventurous generally and what you can do to be more adventurous yourself. Now, I'm not going to waste your time. There are no big secrets here. So if you're in a rush, swipe on. If not, come for a walk. When was the last time you did something for a first time? That's a question that my nephew Jake asked me at Christmas dinner. No, I'm not talking turkey. I'm talking a Maycock special, an Indian takeaway. Are we Indian? No. West Indian? Partly. But Indian takeaway? Always. Christmas dinner? It's a special. But not just any Indian takeaway, I'm talking let's go all out. Chicken tikka masala, lamb bhuna, chicken dubiazza, lamb jafrezi, peshwari naan bread. Oh, wow, mate, what is going on? Bombay aloo, Bombay chat, sagaloo, binji bhajis. I'm talking all the trimmings, all the Maycock specials. And also for my mum and sister, some sweet paneer. Quick tip, the best paneer this side of North India is found just behind Selfridges at Roti Chai. Unfreaking believable. Oh man, the sun is not even close to being up and I'm already thinking about Indian takeaway, but that's not the point. My nephew Jake gave me a book for Christmas about knowing yourself, and the first question was, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And it got me thinking, when did I last do something for the first time? Okay, obviously not a first time, but not in a long time have I been down the slide. So it was last year, that was the last time I did something for the first time. A New Year's resolution that lasted an entire year. Now I'm not about to talk about the walk in total because the walk wasn't the difficult part. 1,000 miles wasn't the difficult part. The difficult part was turning up again and again and doing it. That's why it has to be one of my biggest achievements. Not the most difficult, but biggest achievements, because it lasted an entire year and that was the plan. And the reason why I think that's important is because I know my thoughts. No, not like Alexander Solzhenitsyn, I'm lazy. Efficient at getting things done? Absolutely. Will I get it done? Always. But will I do it at the last minute? Yep, that's me. I even think the doctors that were there when my mum gave birth to me knew I was going to be late. That's why it was a C-section, so it could be scheduled. They just knew I was going to take my time. That's why I got a nice round head. This hairline, that's another story. Then at school, I got an A star in science, not because I'm smart. And here's a shout out to Mr. Cross, my form tutor and science teacher at the time. He was like, look through the revision book, and whenever they give you a hint and or a tip, remember that. The revision guide is written by the examination board. They want you to do well, we want you to do well, so pay attention to the tips. It's like someone giving you a tip in life. You don't give people advice because you want to be mean to them. You want them to have the same successes that you've had, and it's the same with your exams. So I went through the revision book, paid attention to the tips and hints and tips, and I did really well. But that isn't a recipe for success because it didn't work with my German, it didn't work with my English, and it didn't work with my geography. But still, it did work with my science, which is the crucial thing. But even knowing all that for my science exam, I was still late. I was double checking everything on Microsoft Encarta just to make sure they didn't throw a curveball, and if they did, I knew the answer to the curveball. And it turns out that after my very handsome brother came and got me to say, Nathan, we've got a science exam, at the end of the exam, turns out there were no curveballs. The answers were in the textbook. There was nothing misleading about it. Simple process. Should I have paid attention during the classes? Absolutely. Should I have stopped distracting my classmates? Yep. Should I have paid more attention? Yep. Should I have been less disruptive? Yep. Could I have been a better student? Yep. Did it work out in the end? Yeah. But that's not the lesson. The lesson is that people want you to do well. Even though I nearly missed my science exam, I didn't learn the lesson. Although I got the grades, I didn't learn the lesson. I was even late for handing in my dissertation doing my degree. I mean, you get 3 years to write the paper, and it was due at 4 p.m. And at 4:15 p.m, I'm still printing off as I couldn't decide on the font that I wanted to use for the cover. What an idiot. What a freaking idiot. Then to make things worse, I'm always losing things. I spent hours of my life looking for things. My keys, my phone, my trainers, my hat, my running gear. And computer documents are the absolute worst. I name things like final, then final, then final today, then final today printed, then final today printed today, printed, because I printed it twice because there was a typo in line 4. Mate, I just got to get a grip on it. What an idiot. Those birds are noisy. And I've tried a million New Year's resolutions to fix this, to fix finding my lost keys, to fix the final, to use version control on my computer, to put my trainers back at the door, to be more disciplined with my money, to always send thank you cards, to always send birthday messages, to do all these good things with good intentions, but they never stick, never stick. Sometimes I get close, but they never stick for the year. It gets better, but they always fail. But it's not all bad news. In my last job in tech and consulting, getting things done the last minute, the last hurdle, is actually sometimes a good thing. You aim for the release date, you hit it for the release date, and you backfill later. That's fine, but we do always get the job done. So I'm not completely hating myself, but it could be more efficient. But in my personal life, on the New Year's resolution front, it always feels like I'm back to square one, especially at the end of the year, when I think, what would my New Year's resolution be this year? I don't know, maybe stop losing your keys. I don't know, maybe save more money. Get fit. Now, I have got fit during the year, it's just that by the end of the year, I've let myself go again. I've lost weight to go on adventures, I've saved money to go on trips, but by the end of the year, I'm fat, weak, and broke again, although it felt that way. Okay, fat, weak, and/or broke. Okay, that's a sad story. It's funny how we talk about ourselves sometimes, huh? Okay, well, that's a real sad story. Wake up, kick ass, be kind, and repeat. Nice motto. Nice bush. However, now when I think back to my previously failed New Year's resolutions, it's because I was trying to change too much too quickly, and I was too focused on the goal and not the behaviour. So when I hit the goal, the behaviour wasn't there to back it up. And so that's why I was back to square one. More bush. And because most people's New Year's resolutions fail, mine included, the goal is never to go on a big adventure. They don't exist. The goal is to go on adventures every day. and then you'll end up on a big adventure. You don't try and go on one giant epic adventure once in your lifetime. The goal is to live more adventurously, to go on more adventures every day, because big adventures don't really exist, not in the big scale. You go on one for a year, but you live for 80 years, it's like 1/80th. But if you take a month off work, it's only 1/12 of a year, and you work for 45, 50 years. There are no big adventures, only the day-to-day adventures that add up into big lifetime adventures. So the question is, how can I be a tiny bit more adventurous today than I was yesterday? That's the goal, that's the process. And then you repeat that process over and over and over again. And then over a period of time, you get to go on one giant, huge lifetime adventure. I can assure you, you'll be more content with a full-on adventurous life than you would be going to the Amazon, say, just once. Or simply getting up once a week to watch the sunrise is gonna be way more impactful than that one time you happen to do it in Southeast Asia after a full moon party. It's all about the process. It's all about the small steps. But in my opinion, you need a plan and you need to stick to it. Now, I give myself fake deadlines to make sure I get there on time, because if you're organized, a plan keeps you on track. You know exactly where you are. And if you're disorganized, a plan keeps you on track, so you know where you should be and you can make up the gap if you start to fall behind. They're the kind of markers you need to keep you in check. Tiny little markers that help you stay true on the path that you've chosen. So there is no sunrise today. No sunrise. Well, not that we saw. So my question to you today is, what 3 little things could you do before the sun sets that would make your life that little bit more adventurous? Now, they do not have to be huge. In actual fact, the smaller, the better. I'm talking, you see a park, go and play on the swings, go and play on the apparatus. You walk a different way home, get a different train home, climb a tree, see a stranger, try and strike up a conversation for more than 60 seconds. Just because, on the premise of just talking to new people. Oh, train. You see someone that maybe needs a little bit of help, give them directions, ask them if they need help. Compliment a stranger. No, see something like, tell someone, say that's a really nice train. You see someone that looks lost, ask them if they need help, or even ask a stranger for help. Even if you know where you are, just try and get a different way to go somewhere. Just try and find a new route to get somewhere. You want to get from here to there? Ask someone, say, how'd you get from here to there? They may have a different perspective, a different view, a different way of doing things. It could be the most perfect way to do something, a way that you've never been before. But the bigger question is, now you've got those ideas, is will you do it? Will you change it? Will you change up your day and make it that little bit more adventurous by coming out of your norm? That's the key. And if you think about it, you know deep down that these aren't really that random. They're not things that are going to get you in trouble, not things that are going to embarrass you in the long term. They're just there to kind of push you a tiny bit out of your comfort zone, because that's where the magic really happens, just outside of where we are. So by talking to strangers, you get to access the whole world. By finding new directions, you get to navigate the new world. You just get to explore in a way you never thought possible. But it all starts with a tiny step. The question is, will you do it? Anyway,